Let's get to the bottom of all this with Jeff Bell. He's the president of Broward Sheriff's Office Deputies Association, who is also a sheriff's deputy himself. It's good to see in Broward County, and you lay some blame, frankly, on them for what happened. Explain that to us.
Yes, I do. I think that's the one entity in this whole conversation that has not been brought up is some of the fault that I put on the Broward County School Board. For years, they know that the schools have been soft targets, and they claim that they want to have better police presence inside the schools and they want tougher security, but yet they do not want to cough up the money to pay for that better security and fortify their schools and have better designs. They don't want that. And then when they are fortunate enough to have a school resource deputy on scene, an armed police presence, a lot of the liberal thinking principals that are on campus there, they don't want the police officers making arrests on campus, and they don't want the drugs to be found on campus, and they don't want the warrants to be served on campus because it looks like there's bad stats at the school. So I place a lot of blame on the school board with that and some of the programs that they've initiated with the state attorney and the sheriff's office in years past. For example, the Promise program. Nobody wants to fill the jails with juveniles. Every police officer will agree on that. So the Promise program is an intervention program where we can stop filling the juvenile jails with kids, and we can get them into some alternative programs. But the problem is, when that program started, we took all discretion away from the law enforcement officers to effect an arrest if we choose to. Now, there's a lot of parents out there that are screaming for help in terms of mental health services.
Well, it seems like that was the case here. I mean, right. Well, we had 23 calls go to the Broward Sheriff's Office about this family. Some were about Nicholas Cruz's brother. Others were about Cruz, and still, including calls regarding his potential for violence. And again, you're the expert here. You represent the union here, but 23 calls to one house. And you add that with the FBI tips that they got in 2016 and as early as in November and apparently another one in February. This is wild stuff. I mean, red flag after red flag after red flag.
It is. They are looking into that right now with those calls, but I can tell you it's not an uncommon thing where we spend 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week that we respond to the same house for the same problem over and over again.
And so what your limitations are what? The only way you can, I mean, you could sit down with Nicholas Cruz, correct? I mean, I imagine he doesn't seem too bright. I imagine you could sit down and just ask him questions. Can I look around? Right? Could I look around? Do you have any guns? Can I see where they are? Can I see where they're stored? That conversation, do you have any idea whether that took place?
I do not have any of that information right now as part of an internal affairs investigation.
Yeah,
it is, but I'm not privileged to comment on that because it's an ongoing investigation that would be violating state statute by commenting on that.
The NRA demonization that's going on right now is unlike anything I've ever seen. I mean, they're trying to basically take them off television, kill off all the businesses that, take their ads and so forth, give discounts to NRA members. What's your sense on that?
I firmly believe this is not a gun issue. I've said this from day one, and I'll hold that belief until the day I die. It's not the gun that's the problem. It's the person behind the gun that is the problem. And the problem that we face here today is not going to be a simple fix. And I'm afraid to say that I don't even think that there's going to be an outcome that's going to fix this problem, because until we can link the mental health records into the criminal background checks that we do to purchase a firearm, we're not going to see if a person had a mental health issue. So that has to be resolved with the Medical Association and the HIPAA law violations to release that information.
Well, Sheriff Israel,
that needs to be addressed.
I hear you, but Sheriff Israel yesterday or today said, well, what I think we need to do in America is something different, have less guns. I think he means fewer. Less guns on our streets, not more guns. So he's taken a different view from you. That's the sheriff.
Yeah, he is. He is my boss and he is my sheriff. Correct. He is my boss and he is my sheriff, and he does sign my paychecks, but that doesn't mean that I have to have the same opinions as the sheriff does. I think we need to intervene with the people that hold the gun, not the gun itself. So until we address the real problem, which is the mental health issue, and the attitude of the state attorney's office of releasing these people out on the street, nothing's going to change.
Deputy Sheriff Bell, thank you so much for joining us.